Hey y'all, it's your girl Sherry, and welcome back to Alleged Actually Podcast. Y'all know what today is. It is Monday, so it is Bravo Monday. So today we are here to do our recap on the Real Housewives of Potomac. But before I get into my recap, a couple things, guys. First off, let me pay homage to my HBCU, the one and only North Carolina A&T State University, who had their homecoming this weekend. Nobody does it like the Aggies with G-Ho. Y'all, I couldn't be there. So listen, y'all got to see this. You got to get all this Aggie pride right here. Shout out to all my Aggie fam. I was so happy to see everyone's videos and pics on social media. Unfortunately, your girl wasn't there, but I was with you all in spirit. I trust that everybody had a happy and safe homecoming. So happy homecoming to all my Aggie fam. I will be there next year. It is a priority. So there's that. Okay, guys. Now back to Alleged Actually business. If you have not yet, go ahead and give me the thumbs up, like this video. Also, if you would please subscribe, and share. And always hit that notification button so that whenever I go live or drop a new video, you'll be the first to know so you can hop on. And as always, I like to read the feedback. So go ahead and slide in my comments. Let me know what you thought about the episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, y'all. So we are now season 9, episode 3. The episode was called Mama Knows Best. Child. It's still giving, a few things. I am honestly, I know I said this last week, but I think as each episode kind of goes by, I get a little bit more and more disappointed in Karen. And I don't know about you guys and how you feel, but listen, these ladies share their lives with us. And so look, they're human. And so people do things, they make mistakes. Some mistakes are certainly more serious than others. Karen made a very serious mistake with this being her second offense with a DUI. I would like to see the Grand Dame take a little bit more accountability and also use this platform as some teachable moments. I'm not saying, again, I always compare her to Shannon Medora over at Orange County. Not to do that constantly, but I can appreciate the way Shannon has definitely taken accountability. She's certainly taken a beating this season because of it. But with that, you've gotten to see Shannon humble herself and take ownership of it. And it's worked for her. I mean, y'all, she's become a fan favorite on Orange County. And I can't say that was always the case. So we love you, Karen, on Potomac, but that's a serious thing. And the fact that she is deflecting the way she is, though it is her nature, and we've seen her do this before. I'm not here for that, Karen. So I'm hoping as the season unfolds, we do see a shift in Karen and that she does have an accountable moment, maybe a moment where she does kind of admit maybe she was in a dark place, made a bad decision, what have you. But bottom line is that she learned from it and that maybe she can share with all of the fans and maybe help somebody, Nonetheless, guys, we're going to get into this episode. It opens up back at the GNA event, child, when Gizelle was trying to kick the ladies out. Not only trying to, but did. That was Stacey and Jazzy and Mia, who had come to support them. Gizelle was just not having it, child. She had security throw them out. And as the backlash of that's going on, you got messy little Ashley, who runs behind them, honey, because one of the guys in the group, as Gizelle is toasting, as the ladies have been outcasted out of the event, says if they wanted to support, why don't you go ahead and give them this QR code? Y'all know how you do it. You get the QR code, you go ahead and put your little phone on there, you get that little link, and you can donate. Messy grabs it, runs out behind the ladies. Let me just say this. This was a good episode for Miss Stacey, honey, because Stacey is coming out and she is not having it. She was like, I have never. Okay. She is not here for the fact Before they even left the building, it was Stacey that was saying, listen, wait a minute, wait a minute. Ashley, didn't we tell you we were going to be there at 8 o'clock? And she's like, yeah. And Ashley says, it's not 8 o'clock, it's 8:04. Again, y'all, Gizelle just wasn't having it. Gizelle had made her mind up. I mean, we knew that. Gizelle was mad from the word go, from the minute that Karen sent out that group text. But as we keep watching the episode, Giselle's anger kind of evolves and is placed where it rightfully belongs. But we'll get there. Gizelle says in the confessional that her father passed away months ago and that Karen, getting an award, she doesn't give it. She doesn't care. That doesn't matter. She said, this is the same woman that hit a tree. And she says that this is a real event in which we're raising some real money. And she says she's just not the one to play with that night. So as the ladies leave, Stacey says she has never been so offended in her life. Mia, Stacey, and her head out to the Sprinter van. Mia, Jazzy, and her went on to the Sprinter van. Mia said it was very tasteless, and she doesn't do tasteless. And she doesn't do classless either. Really, Mia? You don't do tasteless or classless? I beg to differ, ma'am. You do some tasteless and classless, and not only that, honey, you've had your tasteless and classless moments, many of them, lots of them, okay? At any rate, honey, Miss Jazzy, honey, and let me just say this. Jazzy is securing her spot as another housewife, ma'am. Jazzy is coming with it. Quiet as kept. If Kiana doesn't step it up, I see Jazzy as the full-time housewife versus Kiana maybe being demoted to friend if we don't see some shifting in the next few episodes, because Jazzy is here and she is fitting in lovely. But anyway, honey, Jazzy lets Ashley know that they came at 20:03. For those of you that don't know what that is military time for 8:03. And she said 3 minutes behind the time that you're behind told us to be there. So she's like, and now you're putting us out and you put security on us. Are you crazy? She said, I would have rather not even been invited, honey. And I feel you there. Okay. Ashley in confessional said, in her opinion, this is between Gizelle and Karen. Ashley says she knows good and well Karen knew exactly what she was doing when she sent that invitation. Y'all, as much as it pains me, I have to agree with Ashley and with Gizelle. Karen was dead wrong for that, but we'll get there. And like I told you, Ashley goes behind the ladies with that crazy barcode, trying to see if they will support in the way of financially. The ladies are not here for it. They're on the Sprinter van, and nope. At this point, Stacey's shaking. She's so mad. Ashley tries to enter the Sprinter, whereas Miss Jazzy hits the button to honey close the door and tell her goodbye. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So they promptly tell her goodnight. And in the van, Stacey's like, what kind of businesswoman walks in at her event like Gizelle did and screaming to everyone, to them, get out. And Mia says, not one I want to work with. And back at the party, Giselle's still toasting and enjoying her event. And the ladies in the van are reeling. Vivian has joined them in the sprinting van. Vivian did join them earlier because she had already accepted their RSVP, which was kind of the right thing to do. But look, I'm not mad at the ladies for trying to make both. I probably would have done the same. The fact that they even, showed their faces and they tried really hard to make both was him trying to be there for both ladies. Again, the blame was not on the ladies. It was on Karen. And Gizelle does eventually get to that place, which for Gizelle, let me say that is major growth. So at any rate, they do some more, ladies are mad. They do some jazz with Gizelle talking about how Mia said she don't want to do coffee or tea or nothing with her. She don't want to decorate her tacky house. She was like throwing shade with her Willy Wonka furniture, y'all. They was tearing Gizelle up on that Sprinter van. The ladies were rightfully mad and embarrassed. I mean, honey, like I said, or I was saying when I was watching the episode, you would have one time to kick me out your event in front of everybody, yelling and acting crazy, particularly when I tried to do my due diligence and I didn't ask to be put in that position. And I show up and I talk to your partner and we had confirmed the time and I did my due diligence to try to make the time that was discussed with your said partner who is being messy. Ma'am, sirs, let me tell you, it would be a wrap for Sherry. That'd be the last event of yours I would support. So I get it, ladies. Sherry would be done. Anyway, we going over to Stacey's house, and Jazzy comes by to discuss the fallout from the G&A event. And Stacey asked Jazzy, what in the world was Gizelle doing walking around with security? She was like, is this what we're doing? Do we need security with these ladies? And Jazzy's like, obviously. Wouldn't hurt, guys. Ashley arrives next, child, and she thanks Stacey. Or I'm sorry, she arrives next at the house. Y'all, my notes. I dictate my notes on my phone, and my phone be writing some crazy stuff. But anyway, Ashley shows up at the house next, and then, Ashley tells Stacey, next, thank you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to dissect these crazy notes. But anyway, so Ashley arrives at the house and Stacey lets them know that she has the home to herself because her daughter Arabella and Timo, which is her au pair, has gone out for the day. So she wanted to have the ladies over. She's got champagne, a charcuterie board, the whole nine. And so Ashley comes in. And so at this point, Stacey starts off with Ashley saying, what a night. And Ashley flippantly says, yeah, G&A had a good night. And Stacey says, well, we did not have a great night. And Stacey says, so Jazzy adds in, as in you, G&A, gangsters and alcohol, say y'all gonna come up, we gonna come in there and y'all gonna just throw us out like the gangsters that y'all are. And Stacey looks like, yeah, y'all have been renamed. And Ashley's like, gangsters and alcohol. And Stacey's like, yeah, well, that's how you acted. Yeah, I loved it. Gangsters and alcohol. G&A. That, y'all. That was the line right there. Like I said, I'm loving Jazzy. I really am. I think she's good for Potomac. She's slightly surpassing Kiana as we speak now. But, it's still early in the season, so let's just see. After that, Karen comes and Stacey greets her at the door with a little doggy. And she hears the commotion, honey, because Ashley and Jazzy are still going at it. And basically because of the whole hitting the door and the door hitting Ashley in the arm. Child, bye. She talking about it hurt. Jazzy's like, well, listen, I tested it and it was soft. It didn't even hurt you. They go back and forth. Karen comes in and is like, what the F is going on? And she was like, are you guys able to talk this out? And listen, Jazzy does apologize to her for the door. Ashley makes a big deal. And at this point, it's Karen's turn, honey. Jazzy lets her know they're just doing some little chit-chat over some cheese. And Karen says, so at this point, you told Gizelle, well, Ashley tells Karen that you told Gizelle that you were not inviting the other ladies because you didn't want it to be a conflict with the group. But then on 6:30 on Thursday, you sent that group text out. And Karen says, yep, I certainly did, because this was a very prestigious moment in my life and I wanted to share it. And she was like, yeah, but when I asked you about it last week, you didn't even know what you were being awarded for. And Karen says, that's absolutely not true. And then, y'all, she flips it on the Inquisition birthday party. And Ashley says, no, it wasn't. And Stacey says, well, yeah, Karen did answer all these questions that you guys threw at her. And Ashley's like, no, it was more like, you were sliding out and you were being the master of deflection. And Karen says, no, you're sitting here trying to tell me that I was deflecting. And she said, when Michael was out there pinching 1, 2, and 3 behinds, and you was always talking about, well, I can't answer this and I can't answer that. And honey, they flashed back to a couple of scenes when Gizelle, first one was Gizelle and Ashley, and Giselle's asking Ashley, was she okay with Michael squeezing behinds? And Ashley's like, so you're under the implication that he in fact did that. And child, then they flip to the scene with Karen and Ashley talking about the same thing. Y'all, thank God for the evolution of the wigs. Karen looks so crazy in that scene, y'all. Whoa. Producers are shady. They always want to do those flashbacks. And when they do, child, all we can do is be like in agreement with the ladies that a little bit of Botox, a new wig, honey, a fresh fill-up, whatever you do, honey, it daggone sure freshes them up, because Karen looks like night and day difference, child. I'm not mad. Listen, I think Karen looks great. Those flashbacks be telling on her. They be telling on Gizelle. They be telling on Karen. They be telling on Wendy. Everybody's come a long way. That's all I have to say. Okay. So at this point, Karen's like, listen, I knew. And y'all, she said, she tells Ashley, I knew when you gave me those Uber receipts. What she meant was the Uber cards that, you were trying to be shady. They flash back to Ashley showing that she gave her $200 worth of Uber cards in her bounce back basket. And she was like, honey, what I should have done is gave them back to you so you can get a consultation to get that. Y'all, when she said to get that human being of a effing acorn off of your foot, child. And Ashley's like, are you talking about my bunions? And then y'all proceeds to stick her foot up on Stacey's beautiful white island in that kitchen. Y'all, I was slayed. No, ma'am, you did not put your foot on that woman's island. No, ma'am. Child. Ashley sometimes gives me, she gives off very low class and very, no good home training. No, I'm just saying, y'all. At any rate, they go back and forth a little bit more about Ashley's disgusting bunions. And child, that's when Stacey had her Real Housewives of Potomac moment and solidified herself as a shady housewife. Because I had my doubts about you, Stacey, but you just came through when she said, honey, Ashley was a beautiful woman. From the top to the ankle. Minus them buniony feet. Child, please. Yes, Stacey, I was here for that. That was shady, and I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So Ashley says, back to Karen in response, how about you worry about whether or not you're getting jail time? Okay. And she said, I didn't want to go there, but you're making me go there. And so Stacey's like, listen, y'all, how on earth are we even going to move forward from this? And she says she wants to know if Gizelle is going to apologize, because everyone agrees that Gizelle is wrong. And Ashley says clearly yes. Karen says Gizelle is wrong and she will apologize. In a confessional, Ashley says, honey, she doesn't know what it's going to take, but Gizelle does not like to say she's sorry. I mean, she did used to be called the Ice Queen. And Stacey says, well, honey, it is what it is, but we're able to move forward if Gizelle is able to apologize. And I agree, y'all, because she's going to have to right her wrongs there. I mean, you kick the ladies out that are there to support you. And child, over at Dr. Wendy's house, we're there. That scene didn't give too much. I'm going to give you the scene. Basically, it was giving that her mom was there. She let her mom know she's going to North Carolina with the ladies. And then they do a flashback scene with Mia inviting the ladies to Lake Norman, which is near Charlotte, the Queen City. As a North Carolinian, I felt that the ladies coming to my home state where I reside and grew up. And so Mia lets us know also that she grew up there. And so she wanted to bring the queens to the Queen City. Back at Wendy, she's just letting her mom know that while she's there, she's going to be celebrating her birthday. And then we also find out that we knew before that Wendy didn't get along with her in-laws. They did not speak. But they come to know that Eddie's mom and her mother used to be best friends. They had fallen out. And because of that, though, despite the fact that Wendy and Eddie fell in love and got married, the parents just weren't here for it. And so she didn't have a good relationship with her in-laws. However, they had extended an olive branch by wishing her a happy Mother's Day. And so she was letting her mother know that she was going to invite her in-laws to her birthday party once she gets back from North Carolina and they do her 40th birthday party, expecting her mother to go off. Her mother takes it very well and says, as you should, and it's time for everybody to move forward. So there is that. Now, back in confessional, we talked about Mia saying that it's going to be a good time. She's looked forward to taking the ladies to Lake Norman. She says she's looking forward to a successful trip. They're going to have catered dinners, butlers. All they're going to have to do when they're there is eat, drink, be merry, and be messy. And yes, we are looking forward to that. So back over at Greg's house, who is Kiana's boyfriend, Kiana's mom, Michelle, shows up, who is very lovely, by the way. Kiana has a very young looking mom. She's beautiful. Her mom is coming over to check on Greg and to talk to Kiana. And we find out that Greg has had a deep root canal and Kiana's in the kitchen cooking up some breakfast for her man so he can take his medicine. Now, what that scene was giving y'all was basically a chance for us to get to know the fact that Kiana is happily adjusting to living with her man, and that her mom is kind of wondering when they're going to get down to the whole marriage of it all. She's looking for the ring. But Kiana, basically is saying that for her, living together and creating a nice, happy space so they can coexist together in a home is more important for her. She lets her mom know that the spa's doing well, that she's wearing many hats. The home is in progress, but schedule has slipped, so it's going to be a couple more weeks before they can get into their new home. But we see that Kiana is happy. We do find out that Greg is divorced and has 3 daughters. And Kiana says that she is the first woman since his divorce to actually meet his children. So y'all, it's a big deal. She seems happy. The mom seems happy for them. Just kind of wanting to know when Kiana can expect that RHOP. But look, long as she's happy and she puts things in the rightful order, which is God, marriage, and then that bag, child, all is well. So then we go over to Gizelle's, and the daughters are getting ready. The twins are getting ready for their homecoming. Y'all, that was a sweet, sweet scene. The daughters are growing up. Gizelle lets us know that she had done that the year before with her daughter Grace, and now it's the twins' turn to get ready for homecoming. In comes Big Daddy Jamal, Gucci down to the socks, as Gizelle would say. And it was a nice family moment. The girls are going to homecoming. They're discussing curfews. In confessional, y'all to catch this tea, honey. The producer was like, word on the street is that Jamal has a girlfriend. And he does, y'all. And I don't know if y'all have seen in the blogs out there on social media, his girlfriend bears a very striking resemblance to Gizelle. But Gizelle being Gizelle, honey, puts her fan up in her face while they're asking. And she was like, yeah. And basically, honey, Gizelle lets us know that, yeah, that's to be expected. Jamal's had many girlfriends. But what she knows is that he is the father of all 3 of her children, and that remains forever. Meaning, girlfriends come and go, but Jamal's going to be her baby daddy forever. Okay, Gizelle. Go off. Because the word on the street is Jamal. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone. Over at Mia's, her and Ink have a staycation rental, and they are hosting Jacqueline, her 2 daughters, and Jacqueline's boyfriend, Patrick. Now, this scene basically, Mia lets us know that when Ink is in town, a lot of times Ink will get them a rental to keep the peace, because as we know, Gordon and Mia live in the same apartment building, and to keep the peace, they will stay sometimes in a different location so that Gordon's not have to be, reminded that she is allowing this man in the space with his children. I guess they're both his children, child. And so at this point, she's saying that she's protecting her peace. And so Jacqueline comes by and she lets us know that she greets Ink, and she lets us know that, and Mia said this before, that her and Ink were high school sweethearts. And they do a flashback of them going to the prom. Y'all, Mia was really cute back then. I don't know what she's done. I don't know if it's work on her face or what, but child, she was beautiful back then. And y'all, Ink looked really different. So, but I mean, that was high school. They're grown now. Mia lets us know that it was on the flashback scene to the reunion that her and Ink broke up because he had made the decision to go back to Atlanta and to pursue his career in radio. And so at this point, Jacqueline also lets us know that when Mia and Ink broke up, and they found themselves single because Mia was in another situation, that he was reaching out to her, honey, and asking her out for dinner. But Jacqueline said she was just going to leave that alone because she didn't want them problems. I mean, listen, I thought Mia and Jacqueline shared everything. And it's mighty funny. Anytime somebody asks, or they ask Mia directly at the Hatitude party whether Jacqueline and Mia had shared Ink, and Mia was like, no, ma'am, she's not having it. So I'm inclined to believe that Ink is her true love, soulmate, someone that she don't play about, Miss Free and willing to share, willing to jump in the bed with other couples or having people jump in the bed with her. That doesn't seem the case. So maybe Ink brings out something a little different in Mia. So at any rate, Patrick comes by and we find out, even though, excuse me, y'all, my voice is going today. I don't know what's up. But we find out that Jacqueline's Patrick, who's the father of her beautiful little girls, they currently are not dating. Sorry. But they've been together for 14 years. And so Mia's like, I don't even know to really call them exes, but they've been in a relationship for 14 years. And when they come in and Jacqueline and Mia want Ink and Patrick to meet, they do. They introduce themselves to each other. The ladies go and sit down, and Ink tells him that his princesses look just like him. And Patrick's like, yeah, I've tried to deny him, but in other words, I can't. Y'all, did y'all catch this part when Patrick asked Ink, does he have any children? And he was like, mm-hmm. And y'all, the camera pans to Jeremiah, Mia's son. And he says, he says, that's my baby over there. And Listen, I'll be glad when the whole paternity thing comes out. I still think that that is a low blow of a storyline. However, that's what Mia's giving us this season. So I hope the best for the turnout. I personally believe that it's Gordon's son. And when it comes out that he is Gordon's son, y'all, what a shame that this is even a storyline. You know what I'm saying? Slide in my comments, y'all, and tell me what you think about it. I mean, it was mentioned at the end of last season. It was mentioned in the first episode. Here we are again with Ink even saying this to Jacqueline's best friend's ex-man on the camera on screen, them showing the son when he was coming to his mother to ask about his iPad. I mean, it's like using the kids as part of this scandalous storyline. I am not here for it, but y'all slide in my comments. Let me know what you think. Listen, at this point, then they all come together and sit, Jacqueline, Mia, Patrick, and Ink. And Jacqueline asks how it's going with Gordon. And Mia kind of lets in that, like, if he has a hangnail, he wants me to come clip it. When he was looking for his favorite coffee cup, he's over there. That, basically it seems like, or she's alluding to the fact, and I think we saw it on last episode, that Gordon's having a hard time letting go and that she is trying to keep him taken care of. It just seems odd and awkward to me, y'all. Y'all let me know what you think. Slide in the comments and let me know. I mean, if it works for a family dynamic, she lets us know that her father was not in the picture, particularly in her adolescence. She spent time in foster care. And so I get the fact that she's trying to do what she needs to do to keep a healthy relationship between Gordon and his children. But where I think she's falling so flat, y'all, is the fact of commingling Ink in the mix this soon. I mean, it's got to be confusing to the children. It's hurtful to Gordon. I don't see how Gordon can be his best self as a parent or period, as he's grieving a marriage and then has to be slapped in the face with seeing her move on so quickly and this man around her children. And then, oh, by the way, not only is he around his children, but he's claiming his son as his own. Y'all, that's a lot. That's messy. That's sad. That's low down. I could go on and on, but I'm not. Again, y'all, slide in the comments and let me know what you think about that. All right, so now, y'all, the scene I want to talk about, because I just want to know, am I crazy? Now, we go over to Stacey, who's at a gym called Sweat DC, and she's in there getting ready to work out, and she is greeted by her personal trainer, Gerard, and she lets him know that her friend, TJ, is going to be joining her, but he wants her to kind of work on her muscle tone. And in walks TJ, y'all. Now, here's where I want to ask you guys what you thought. So TJ comes into the gym. Stacey awkwardly goes in for the hug. Child, his body like tenses up and he does not hug her back. I don't know if y'all caught that tea. But then he points out to Gerard how awkward she's acting. And then, y'all, when she introduces TJ to Gerard, did you see how, yes, there was a dap up, but did you see the immense hug that he put upon Gerard? Okay. See, because, he couldn't seem to hug Stacey back, but he put an embrace on Gerard like nobody's business. Now, am I wrong? Y'all put it in the comments because I was like, sir, excuse me? Okay. And then I'm like, Stacey in confessional says that the closer that she's getting to her divorce, she's starting to allow herself to think about the possibility of a romantic relationship with TJ. And she says it's just starting to feel different. And she just knew something was happening. And I'm thinking, is it mutual? Does he know what's happening? Because he doesn't seem to know what's happening. But we'll get there. So Gerard has put together a little cute workout for them that's more of like a team building type thing. And she's working on her little tight, the little ropes things, trying to work it out with the upward body. And then y'all, she's getting ready. She's got the weight, the bar on her back, and she's getting ready to go into squat mode with him behind her, hence the team building part. Now, no shade because, honey, these knees ain't but so low. These knees can go either. But y'all, that was so awkward. TJ's behind her, helping her with the bar. And she does do a wee bit of a squat and says she's 6 foot and can go no more. But y'all, it was just something so odd and awkward with her and him up behind her and him. It just looked wrong, y'all. Is it just me? Because if it is, y'all slide in the comments and let me know. Whew. Anyway, so Stacey makes the comment. She's wondering why did Gerard have to give them such big balls? And TJ says, because that's what every Black man wants. Okay. Wants how? All right. And she goes in to make another joke, and he's like, hey, Stacey, you can stop right there. I'm not going to sleep with you. I'm not going to do it. Stacey's like, you don't have to say it like that. And then Stacey's like, so how much do you want to sleep with me? Like on a scale of 1 to 10. Y'all, TJ responds and says K. And she's like, what does that mean? And he says 0. Now listen, Stacey, girlfriend, how many clues does he have to give you that he's just not into you? And maybe it's not because he just wants to be your friend. Maybe he prefers Gerard over you. Maybe. Okay? Because he's not giving that he's just holding off. He's giving that he don't want you. He's giving that he just may not want a woman, period. But keep this in the confessional. The producer, pick it up on what I'm picking up on. Ask Stacey if TJ was a virgin, and Stacey pauses with his face smiling and says, he is not a virgin. He's had intimacy with other partners. He doesn't want to be intimate with a woman unless she is his wife. Did y'all catch that tea? He's been intimate with other partners, but does not want to be intimate with a woman unless she's his wife. Listen, I don't care either way, but what I don't like is for someone to be strung along if the person's not interested because they prefer to be with another gender. And he could be bi, honey. He could be whatever, but I just don't think he's into her, y'all. Slide in the comments and let me know what y'all think. But let me see here, y'all. I'm sorry, honey. I'm getting a text. Let me go ahead and take care of that. All right, now back to Real Housewives of Potomac business. Stacey says, well, I hope that we're not still 70 years old trying to do the do. Man, I think you need to just move along. That's just my thoughts. So they wrap up the workout, and TJ is now asking her where she's at with the divorce and how she's handling things. And she's like, well, what specifically do you mean? Handling what? And he says, the negotiations. Like, where are we at in the process? And she says, it's a lot. And she gets, doesn't really want to talk about it or whatever. And she's like, look, I'm with you. I just want to enjoy my time with you. It's just heavy. I don't want to talk about something heavy. And he's like, okay, that's okay. He's like, but just understand that I do things the right way. This has to be a process. And she just asked for a little grace. And he says, that's fine. But he needs to make sure that there's a start and a finish to this thing. So I don't know, y'all. We're going to have to see the whole TJ thing. Now, thinking back, I don't know if you guys saw the Watch What Happens Live. And I cannot remember her name. She stars in the show Found. And she was on my favorite show, Shameless. Um, when Andy had said something about what he thought, he asked her, the actress, what she thought of Stacey, and she just had a weird look on her face, and she said, "I know her friend TJ." And Andy wanted to say something, but like she wouldn't say. It was something awkward there. So I'm wondering, y'all, if it's going to come out if TJ previously dated men or he's bisexual, and this is child. I don't know. Like I said, I could be totally misreading it. Y'all let me know what you thought when you saw that. If I'm way off base, honey, just slide in the comments and let your sister know. All right, so now we're back over to Mia and Ink at her apartment. Mia is letting Ink know that she is just really happy in this new space. She's moved around a lot. Pretty much just since she's been on Potomac, there's been 4 moves. And she says that she just really enjoys being there. And Ink is making notice of the beautiful view from the window. She said the kids are happy there. She loves her corner suite, so she's good. And so at this point, he's asking her about the girls' trip, and she lets him know that she's really excited about going to Lake Norman, and it's kind of like going back home. And he asked her if everyone's coming, and she did let him know that everyone is indeed invited. And he's like, "Is Auntie coming?" And Mia's like, "Who is Auntie?" And he is referring to Gizelle. And she lets Ink know that Gizelle and her have talked. So they flash back to the scene where Gizelle has apologized to Mia. And we find out that Gizelle is going to apologize to all the ladies. Gizelle has come to the realization that she is not angry at the ladies. She's really angry at Karen. And this was actually in the scene right after we see her with her daughters, when she reflects on the fact that this homecoming with her daughters was particularly difficult for her, because normally when the girls are doing homecoming or prom, or it's prom for the young ladies, and he's come for homecomings and proms, and this will be the first one that her dad is not there. I don't think so. Maybe the death of her father has given her a new insight to things, not holding on to stuff. And she realizes that she needs to apologize to the ladies, and that she needs to put her anger where it rightfully belongs, and that's with Karen. So it does show the scene of her and Mia talking. And then when we come back over to Mia and Ink, he asks her how Karen's doing. And Mia turns to him and whispers she's got a court date. And he whispers back and says, why are we whispering? And he was like, because we don't want everybody to know. And Mia says, yeah, it's embarrassing. And so she said that she took a little peek, and she now sees that Karen's charges are criminal. So like she has to go to criminal court with the jury and the whole 9. And so she's like, no wonder Karen has been on this campaign. And I think when she means by campaign, her wanting the ladies to come see her get awarded, and to feel like, to highlight her contributing to society's side and the positive things she's done. Y'all, I don't know. I think Karen's just having a hard time maybe accepting the fact that she's made a horrible, horrible mistake. And even maybe that she may have some problems, some things that she needs to heal from and deal with. I don't know, y'all. Like I said, I hope to see, as we keep watching the season, that Karen has a moment that she really does come to grips with what has happened and really start to do something to get herself back on track. And like I said, just to take some accountability is a huge start. Mia says that she definitely sees why she's on a campaign, and she needs to go shake some babies. She laughs because she means shakes hands and kiss babies. And so Gizelle then meets the rest of the ladies. So she meets Jazzy, Stacey, and Wendy because she also wants to apologize to them for being so angry. And Ashley's there also. She's the first to arrive. Then comes Jazzy and Stacey. And Gizelle particularly says that she feels like Karen has got some sort of a spell on Jazzy and Stacey, and she wants to get to know them with Karen not around, and she wants them to understand, Karen's ways and, to understand the manipulation part that Karen may have towards them. But she wants a chance to talk to the ladies without Karen hovering and them feeling like they have to pick sides, I guess. So Gizelle greets them in a very loving way, they say. And Jazzy acknowledges that. And she's like, I love how you greeted us with a very loving way. And Gizelle says, honey, that's how I do. And she says, well, that's very different than how you were last time we saw you, but okay. And she lets her know she appreciates it. And she lets them know that it wasn't necessarily for them. It was really for Karen. And she acknowledges that. And Stacey let her know that they were just there trying to show them some support. And she says that she definitely understands that and that she was really, really angry with Karen. And it should have been towards Karen and not towards them. And she said basically because she's going to deal with Karen because Karen knew exactly what she was doing. But Gizelle does apologize to those ladies for throwing them out in the event. They accept the apology. And then in walks Wendy. And Jazzy says at that time she appreciates Gizelle for her apology. And Wendy's like, Gizelle just apologized? And they were like, she did. And Gizelle said, look, cooler heads have prevailed. I've had a good meal. And yes, I have apologized. Wendy in confessional says, who is this new Gizelle and what has happened? She's like, this is not Gizelle, honey. This is Gizelle's body double. And in the same confessional, separate, Gizelle says, you know what? They just kind of called her out on her wrath, but she said that was meant for Karen, and that's why she apologized. Now, y'all, I agree. We are seeing a new Gizelle. Y'all slide in the comments to let me know if you believe that the Gizelle has really changed. Do you think it's because of the passing of her father? Do you think it was to save her Bravo check? Do you think it's because she doesn't have the other half of the Green-Eyed Bandits? And she's there trying to survive, honey, on an island alone with just little Ashley who can do nothing for her. I don't know. I'm still not particularly 100% convinced. But that's just me. I'm going to keep watching. I mean, it's more fun to see her like this. It's more fun to watch the season, to see it with not so much nastiness and so much, just hatefulness and so much division in the group. So I'm here for it, whatever it is. It does seem to be working. Potomac is getting its life back. It is, again, tolerable and even a little enjoyable to watch. So whatever it is, y'all, I'm here for it. Y'all slide in the comments and let me know what you're thinking. So we flash back to the group text that Mia had sent inviting the ladies to Lake Norman. And Wendy's like, guys, we're going to the Tar Heel State. Yes, y'all, North Carolina, that's home for me. And she announces that it's her birthday. And they ask, are they going to get Portugal, Wendy? And we get another flashback of the ladies in Portugal and Wendy wilding out some. So I guess we're going to get a little more fun. Wild Wendy. We shall see, child. And then we get back over to the table and Gizelle asks Stacey, or she says, so Stacey, you have 2 kids? And she's like, no, actually I have one daughter. And she lets them know she's been married for 16 years. And they have an amazing, beautiful daughter named Arabella. And she's 8. And she lets them know that she's recently going through a divorce. And and then Gizelle's like, the way that she says it sounds like she's really sad about the divorce. And Gizelle says when she was getting to the end of her divorce, she was happy. Stacey says, look, I am never going to be happy about going through a divorce. And y'all, I get that. I mean, it's never fun to break up a family and to start all over again and to go through the dissolution of a marriage of 16 years. I mean, now when it's really, really bad and you just want some peace, you want to get out, I get that is happy on the side, child. I've been through divorce, so yes. But going through it is not easy, and it's certainly not something you wish on somebody. So I also get what Stacey was saying. Um, well, honey, not missing a beat, Ashley, with her messy self, hops in there and says, well, she has a new friend. And Giselle's like, oh, okay. So, we're not worried about the husband. So bye, husband. And we got this new friend. And Stacey confronts Ashley and says, I have spent multiple days with you at my home talking about my marriage, my children. Y'all, she does say children. No, she said she has the one daughter, but I digress. Maybe she's talking about her daughter and a dog, child. I don't know. But she says, my children. And she says, now here you come over security board and drinks and spills all of my business. And Ashley says, is this a secret? And Stacey let her know that she is so cautious because she's concerned about the mental health of her daughter. And she says she's not afraid. I'm sorry, that she's not ashamed of her new friend, but she is definitely ashamed of the way that it was brought to this table. And Ashley, per usual, says, well, I didn't know that you were going around telling people individually. And in confessional, Stacey says that Ashley is really surprising her, that she is not the person that she thought she was. Ashley, in her confessional, says that she didn't know that TJ was supposed to be a secret. As far as she was concerned, they were just friends. She was like, she calls Vivian a friend. She talks about Vivian all the time. So if TJ is her friend, like Vivian is her friend, then what's the big deal? Why can't she just say his name? Now, Ashley's being messy because, first off, she don't know Stacey like that to be bringing her business up with all the ladies without the confirmation that Stacey has let them in on that. And that's just Ashley being messy, y'all. That's why I told y'all I am definitely not a fan of Ashley Darby. I am not. She's starting in hot, but we're gonna see how it goes, because the same way I was calling for Gizelle to be let off that show, I wanted Ashley gone too. She's still up to her old tricks, y'all. We're gonna have to keep seeing that, how that unfolds. But Gizelle, I guess, in her softer side, tries to call herself giving Stacey some advice, and she says that kids' self-awareness and sense of self is based off of their mother's happiness. And she tells Stacey to focus on her happiness because it's only going to make her daughter better. So if this happiness is with this new dude, then rock out and live it. And Stacey, look, she says thank you, but y'all, Stacey's face was giving, I am pissed off. She was not here for it. Y'all, it made me like Stacey more. Stacey got more to her than what she was giving in those first 2 episodes. So I'm thinking Stacey is a good addition. So y'all, the next scene is the ladies at the airport in Charlotte. Everybody is there. They are all excited to go. Kiana wants to do a cute little girls trip. Wendy's ready to be the queen of the Queen City. Ashley's still messy, honey. Gizelle says she's looking forward to having a good kiki with all the ladies, and she wants to have a good little conversation with Miss Karen, child. Everybody is there, and they're looking for Stacey. However, Stacey is going to be driving to Charlotte because she had a family member that passed away in an ATV accident. So for the month of May, she does not fly. So at this point, y'all, the next scene, we are in Charlotte, and Mia is announcing they're leaving the airport, who's going in what car. So it's going to be Mia and Karen in one car, Gizelle, Jacqueline, and Wendy in car number 2, and Ashley, Jazzy, and Kiana in the third car. So in the car with Jazzy, Kiana asks how long she's been dating her man, and we find out that Jazzy has been dating him for 2 years. They ask if he's ever been married before, and she says he has never been in a serious relationship, honey, prior to me. They ask if he has any children. She says he does have children, but again, she lets it be known. Did y'all hear her? He has never been in a serious relationship before. Okay? Meaning she is the one, the only, the last, the final, everything, child. Woo! Back over in Gizelle and Wendy's car with Jacqueline. Wendy says, Gizelle asks her how she feels getting ready to be 40. Wendy says she's excited, that this is her last day in her 30s and it feels kind of weird. You know what I mean? Gizelle was like, no, not really. Girl, you know what I mean. She knew what she meant. But, Giselle's days of being her last 30s are a little further behind her, so maybe she just can't relate at this moment. I don't know. But anyway, they have a bonding moment. They see a church outside the window, and Gizelle shares with Wendy that she grew up Catholic and that she now does attend Catholic church. The only time that she didn't is when she was married to Jamal Bryant. And Wendy said, well, that had to be, like really different for you. She's like, being a whole different vibe. Of course it is. We know Jamal Bryant is a pastor. And so the takeaway from that scene is Gizelle was saying that she's actually enjoying Wendy. The two of them are getting along. So, y'all, stranger things have happened. They are becoming friends. So, who knew? Y'all, so in the car with Mia and Karen, Mia asked Karen how she's doing. Karen says she's going through a lot and her back is against the wall. But, when it's legal, you can't talk about it. And she's like, I try not to say that over and over. But y'all, Mia leans in and she lets Karen know, Karen, it's on the internet. And she said, then read it. Karen be killing him with that, honey. She said, I did read it, and that's why I'm checking on you. And she said, it's all about taking care of Karen now. Karen lets Mia know she has been, rallying for everyone else in her family. And she says it was at that point, all of that was hitting her in that moment. And so Mia's like, were you distracted? And then she says, I really can't talk about it. I can't say anything, in the event that it could incriminate her. And Mia lets us know that she's really not trying to chastise Karen, that she's just really trying to let her know that she's there for her as a friend. But she says the number one thing is admitting that she actually did it. And she says she hasn't even gotten there yet. And she said there's going to come a time that she's going to break. And I agree. I agree with Mia. It seems like Karen is just having a hard time actually admitting that she really, really messed up, y'all. There was also a scene when her and Ashley was arguing, and Karen, when she talked about being at the inquisition at the birthday party, how she said that, I was in a situation where I almost died, and Ashley let her know, or could have taken the life of someone else. It just seems like Karen it's not sinking in, really. And I just don't know what to make of it. It's not coming across very well on screen. It's not doing her any favors. I get maybe not being able to talk about every detail of what happened, or even admitting how much she had to drink that night. The thing about a DUI case, y'all, is a pretty open and shut case. I mean, if they found out that she had alcohol in her system, which I'm assuming she had to have done, even if it was just suspicion, I did a quick little live this weekend. It didn't come out that great, and so I think I took it down. But basically, People magazine had reported that Karen had attempted to have her DUI dismissed with the fact that they had illegally done a search in her car and illegally had apprehended her without reading her Miranda rights. The judge dismissed that. It did not go anywhere. The DUI is still in process, honey. She's still having to fight it. And so I think at the time of filming, she was trying to go at that angle by having her DUI dismissed because she was trying to say that the cops didn't follow the proper protocol. But it said in those records that Karen seemed dazed, that she smelled of alcohol, that allegedly she was unsteady on her feet, that a passerby that had called in the 911 called also had reported of smelling alcohol on her breath. I don't know, y'all. I mean, it doesn't look good, but we're just going to have to see how it all turns out. The last clip of the scene, you do hear a lot of commotion. It lets us know we are in for some drama for this girls' trip. Karen going back and forth, Kiana screaming about her scar. It's Mia trying to get through to Stacey that she's defending someone that's charged with a DUI. Stacey may be realizing that Karen may have more of an issue than she was aware of. Just a lot of stuff, honey, that we're going to keep tuning in and seeing how it unfolds. You guys are going to come back tomorrow so I can do my recap with you guys on Real Housewives of Orange County. That was another good one, y'all, Thursday. Listen, I got a new favorite over at Orange County, honey. Miss Jen Pedranti. Child, she gave it to Tamara Sue, child, honey. She went all kinds of off, ma'am. So I can't wait to talk about that episode tomorrow. So you guys are going to have to come back with me on tomorrow so we can talk all things Real Housewives of Orange County. Thank you guys for tuning in. Put your comments in. Let me know what you thought about the episode. And again, if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Share this video with the masses and subscribe if you're not already an actualizer. We would love to have you as a part of the family. Also, guys, before I close, let me peep y'all to what's coming up on the channel. Of course, Wednesday, Big Nige and I will be back also recapping 90 Day Fiance the other way. I have an interview coming up with another co-author of the book with my Design Your Wealth Mindset. That will be dropping on October 24th. You don't want to miss that, y'all. That's on procrastination. And we all can use some tips on how to get out of procrastination and better ways to manage time. Then I also have a collab event with the podcast Sins of Survivor True Crime Las Vegas. We are going to be talking about the tragic case of Mark and Debbie Constantino. We are joined by a special guest, author Janice Overding, that wrote the book Demon Song. And that chronicles her friendship with Mark and Debbie. She's going to give us some gems, y'all, some insight into stuff that most of us would never know if you haven't read the book. She was very good friends with them, their mentor. She introduced them into the world of paranormal. And she was the one that actually introduced them to Zach Baggins. And that's how they got on Ghost Adventures. So she has a whole lot of insight and a lot of information about Mark and Debbie that a lot of fans were left with a lot of questions, not knowing. And so I think you're going to want to tune in for that interview. That drops October 29th. We got lots going on. So you guys, if you haven't yet, you need to subscribe and you definitely need to hit that notification bell so that you know when we are dropping these good videos and interviews. Y'all don't miss it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Come back tomorrow so we can talk all things Real Housewives of Orange County. Y'all have a good one, guys. All right. Bye.